Hello, I'm back with more Quake Brutalist Jam 3. This series of videos is about casual playthroughs where I try and get 100% kills and secrets on brutal difficulty while having a bit of a natter about the things that I like. This map is called the Oppressing Facade by SZE, set in a crumbling apartment complex of sorts, though somewhat abstract, and somewhat dystopian. It was one of my favourites from the set, so let's get into it. Okay, so right in this little outer courtyard here, it's relatively straightforward, but every sort of thing that you do, it generates a little reaction. These walls blowing up, monsters coming out. But there's always pressure from one direction, so you don't have to worry about being sort of ambushed from the side here or anything like that. It's just a nice, gentle introduction, really. You can see as well all these posters on the walls, sort of custom textures. They look really, really cool. What I do here is I avoid getting stuck in a little pit where those concrete blocks fall down, because that's a nice little ambush where the grenadier can take shots at you while on Nightmare those bloody knights warp around so fast and they really do bully you. There's a little jump scare there. It's not actually a spawn, it's just a poster of a spawn. Though the posters will come important later on. Going into this little outside walkway is quite funny because it almost happens there but doesn't quite. If you get right up in the face of those grenadiers and stop them from moving, the other one jumps on their head and sometimes slides straight off into the abyss, which is just really wonderful. It just makes me laugh. Quite linear at this point in the map. This is the sort of first silver key that we go for. This room is relatively easy to go into. Again, pressure's not too high at this point, you can just sort of go through. This is the first major ambush, however, this grenade launcher. I defuse it somewhat here by shooting a grenade behind that doorway, which kills two knights. And you have these knights that drop down here, and you have to fight them, in this little area and the fiend as well, but it's not too difficult. Once you've done that, the doors will burst open, as you can see. And you usually get ambushed by those knights who put pressure on you, and then the grenadiers come in on a slight delay. Up here, if you walk 2 steps forward, you get these 4 knights that will come out and ambush you. I found it's actually better just to shoot grenades around the corners. You can walk forward, then back off and shoot one grenade and get them all, but it's kind of janky. I couldn't really do it reliably, so I thought it's more fun that way. Hidden switches, get yourself some extra nails as well. That's wonderful. So coming into this outer area here, part of me wants to just rush out there with like the nail guns maybe, but there's not really enough space. The chances are you're going to get clipped by some projectiles and the grenade. It's also about as fast just to back off, let the door close, come back, and then sort of kill them all with one grenade. Though here it's much more efficient if you can get past that fiend and get to this doorway here where this lift is, rather than having to back off and come back. Relatively straightforward here, but I just want to point out that this is a nice apartment building. I'd like to live here. Right, that poster I shot there, there's 3 of those, and they unlock the mega secret. They're of the Shambler's Ass, so if you're into that sort of thing, thumbs up. This is the map for you. It's also very easy to miss that rebar cannon there that I saw. This room here, just so you know, it's got a little trap where if you kill one of these Zvors at the top, that's when the next wave of like knights and champions comes in and they can really crush you really fast. They can just stun lock you in a corner. So what I do, get 3 shots on each and then just kill them both instantly. That means I have no projectiles. I shot that window which gave me a secret platform which gives me a bit of space to clear out some of the knights, which in theory makes it easy to kill these guys with grenades. In theory. You don't have to do that, but it makes it a little bit easier. And there's a little trap on top of the staircase as well. A ladder, rather. Now, it's worth mentioning, I need 2 gold keys to get to the final arena. You need the silver keys to open the doors to the gold. So you do have kind of choice in how you attack things here. Though there's no real need to attack things in like a specific order because you have all of the base tools that you're going to want already. Like, there's nothing that you get from taking one of these past, like, oh, I get the grenade launcher down this one, I get the multi-missile launcher down this one. So, it really doesn't matter what you do. It would have been nicer if there was something a bit more substantive, like, you pick a path and you get something specific out of it, but it works as it is. Usually I don't take this route when I was running this, I just forgot what I was doing, so I decided to go up here instead. Though I do enjoy this one. Because this is all about platforming, which is kind of fun. And there's the last one there, so a very secret secret. Special one. So, when you're climbing here, the platforms behind you will vanish. it allows you to do things like that, you know, jump up and the fiend kills itself. I don't hit all the cycles here like I should, because I've got to spend a bit of time waiting. I really should have like just pushed straight up into that vor. And then there's this really funny ambush here where you can just sidestep and that fiend's gone. Just into the void, basically. Like I said, this map's a lot of forward momentum to it. It's just fun to grind through stuff, basically. And then ignore that bad jump there, which was a jump up to a non-secret backpack. I just failed it. It's just a simple circle jump. I love this area, though. Water combat. Water combat in Quake is excellent. Dwell is a map set that really does it well, and I'm just really happy to see some here as well. I wish it went on for a bit longer. I also just like the surreal element of, you know, the water level rising in the apartment building. It's just not something that you'd expect. It's odd. You have these very creepy flesh... What are they called? These fish? I don't know what they're called, but they scare the shit out of me. I really don't like them. They creep me out. And you get the gold key, which is another ambush. SED is fond of doing these ambushes where you're locked in rooms and you have to clear them. It's a very Doom thing. It's not something that a lot of Quake mappers do a lot of, but SED is very much about controlled sort of set pieces. It says, you know, 3 to go here, so you think there's going to be 4 Vors, but there's not. The final one is the Shambler in the middle. But you can just easily defuse that by hugging a pillar, basically. The rebar cannon kills him in 6 shots. Not much of a problem, not much of a problem. It is cool, though. It would have been better, I think, if you had, like, a biosuit and you had limited air and there was no air pockets. That would make it a lot more scary. It would just it wouldn't make it any harder objectively. It would add to the tension, though. And this was the super secret here. The Shambler-ass explosion gives you the multi-missile launcher, which is only really useful for this fight, I'd say. Because you could theoretically get that after doing all this, and then it's pointless because you get one in the final arena anyway. This is a cooler fight here as well. This is one where you get ambushed from multiple angles, which the map doesn't do as often, but it's great. You're also in water, which limits your movement speed, which is really fun. So you are kind of being pushed about, but you have the vampirism, so as long as you're being aggressive and you're fighting, you can always regain the health. You are guaranteed to take some sort of damage if you're very aggressively here. Multi-missile launcher, of course, is great because, I mean, it does the damage of 4 rockets, basically, if you got full salve on somebody. You can just delete any enemy in the game except for a Shambler. Though, I feel, I don't know, maybe there's a more efficient way of doing this fight down here. I do like how you have this pressure that keeps going down here. Those amalgams that come there on Nightmare, on Brutal, so they have those explosive caltrops that I almost walked into, for example. I'm just dancing around one. They're really dangerous. They can hurt you a lot. So, like, having something that just deletes them means that, especially when you have the water occluding and limiting your vision of where the caltrops are, it's nice to be able to just go, no, I don't like this, away. It's one of those maps that on a first playthrough, this is actually quite stressful and challenging because the ambushes are just so in your face all the time. Like this one up here, for example, this fiend. You know, it could really get you by surprise, but if you manage things effectively and you know what you're doing, you know what's coming, with 2 vampirisms, I mean, look, at 250 HP, that's just gigantic. You know, there's a spawn there, not anymore, that spawn's gone. So, you take your 2 gold keys. I forgot what I was doing here. This is a really efficient one, as you can see. You open up this little set piece here with the earthquake going on. I'm relatively good on ammo here. I could have probably used another salvo of rockets just to kill everything. But you go in here, you turn around, it's this very abstract arena at the end. I like this arena. I think it's actually very easy, all things considered. It looks intimidating, but really it's not so bad. Those portals, they spawn stuff, basically. Straightforward enough. You do not want to stand directly underneath them. That's a bad idea, because stuff will jump on your head, and some of those things might explode. But, you know, you have multiple waves. You clear most of the enemies. Not all of them, just most of them, I think, for... I don't know what precisely triggers it. And then the next one comes. The items respawn as well, so you can cycle them, and it's not a problem. This is basically what the multi-missile launcher is made for, just melting these wonderful Vors. The shower lads, just kill them. Now this is the most dangerous wave. So with this one, I get rid of the plasma guys, and then it starts flooding in these Shalkins, which are, you know, relatively dangerous because they're invisible. But behind those, they're the blisters spawn, and the blisters, they can do a lot of damage. If you fall into the abyss in this map, it doesn't kill you, but the blisters do a lot of damage. Like, you know, it's a lot of explosive damage because they're suicide bombers. And then, once you've killed that, it's smooth sailing because you get a quad, basically, and you can just play like nuts, like I'm playing here. Super loose, super aggressive. Doesn't really matter. You've won at this point. it's a nice cathartic sort of thing. SNE's made a lot of very difficult maps, so it's nice to play something which has a little bit less of a kick and feels more like feels more of an aesthetic showpiece in a lot of ways, which I like. I like a lot. I like how the posters peel off the walls and things like that. I like the decay. But there you go. That is the Oppressing Facade by SNE. A really wonderful map. Has a great soundtrack too. Just a great little map, really. It's just really enjoyable. It's striking. It looks like it would have been a really nice building to live in at some point. I do love the carpets. It's a shame it's fallen to such disrepair, but there you go. Also, maybe the subtext of the police state to suppress the enjoyment of juicy shambler asses. Because that's what Quake's really all about, isn't it? The shambler's big ass. Go play Quake Brutalist Jam 3, it's really good. Thanks very much.